Welcome back, guys, to another video. I'm trying to make this quick video on your speaker settings and why you should basically set it to small. I play around over the years with large settings and small settings, and depending on your AVR and your setup, for a while I couldn't distinguish between which one sounded best, and I keep going back and forth with large and small because I wanted to produce the commercial theater sound. And a lot of times you want to set I was trying to set my speakers to large so I can get more bass coming out of the speakers. So that's why you were trying to do large. But like I said, over time I discovered that overall the best settings you're gonna want to do is go ahead and set your speakers to small. If you're not sure how you should set your LFE crossovers, by default 80 Hz is the standard on the AVR. The size of your speakers is not relevant to the settings. If you set your speakers to large, all the bass will be handled with the speakers that's set to large. If you set your settings to LFE plus main, depending on your AVR, the subwoofer along with your front left and your front right will all handle your low frequencies. How much of it will depend on your crossover settings between your speakers and subwoofer. And of course, I believe that the reason why I believe the best settings for your setup should be setting all of your speakers to small and letting your subwoofer handle the bass. It's the simple fact that your subwoofer can handle your low frequency and produce a deeper thump, a deeper bass tone than your speakers can produce. On top of that, depending on your speaker and depending on your speaker crossover settings, your speaker will still produce some bass. It's just that the majority of the lower frequencies will come out of the sub. So for me, in my living room here on this setup here, I'm running my bookshelves is the D11s, DefTech D11s, and the center channel is the DefTech CS 9060 or whatnot. But pretty much I'm running the left front and the right front and the center. I'm running all those on 60 Hertz and all on small. By running it on 60 Hertz, it's able to produce bass out of the speakers even though they're set on small. And like I said, it depends on your speaker. And if you want to know if your speaker has bass coming out of it, what you do is just set it to 2 channels. So set your speakers to 2 channel and then set those speakers on large, play music, play content without your sub, and see if those speakers alone can produce bass. And if those speakers can produce bass, that's great, that's wonderful. And if your speakers can't produce bass, your subwoofer handles it anyway. The only reason why I bring that up is because I know my Bowers and Wilkins, I believe is CM5 bookshelves, they're great bookshelves, but if I ran that without a subwoofer, that pretty much doesn't have any bass. But when I run my Martin Logans, and I forgot the model number of the Martin Logans. Let me look at it real quick. 35 TXI, I believe. But the Martin Logans 35 TXI, I believe, and my DefTech Demands D11s or D11s. Those 2 bookshelves, they produce bass. Those bookshelves can produce bass without subwoofer. And the Bowers and Wilkins that I have, CM5s, they pretty much, the bass is non-existent. You pretty much need a subwoofer. That being said, my other Bowers and Wilkins, I believe is 686 bookshelves, those alone produce bass. I just don't know why the CM5 doesn't. But my point is, if your bookshelf can, or your speaker can produce bass without the sub, you still want to run those on small and reroute everything to the sub, because now not only would you get the deepest thump out of your sub, now when the bass hit, depending on the movie you're watching, it's literally going to sound coming from that direction of the speaker, and it's going to sound wonderful. So that's pretty much the bass management that you want to do. From my experience, set all your settings, set all your speakers to small, and let your subwoofer handle the rest. But that's pretty much it, guys. You can comment below if you know something better, have a better setup, or any suggestions or questions. But that pretty much wraps it up. I hope that helps. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Hooded Dragons out.